Um, Back in the days before there was dispensaries, say 1850, 1860, every decent village had a sweat house. This, in particular, for the fever. The only cure they had for a fever was to sweat it out. So any decent village would have a sweat house, or maybe 2 or 3 villages together would have a sweat house. In Down Trasna, for instance, now near Screeb Cross there in Comas, there's a stream that comes down between one village and the next, and it makes its way through large rocks, boulders. So what they do is they build up a few walls with stones around this, and then they'd throw a few brambles and branches across it and maybe a few scraws, and they'd cover it over. So you'd have the water running in through this little housing, and they'd bring up buckets of turf and they'd start a fire, and they'd boil up the water, and they'd have this little house filled with steam, and in you'd go there. Very often, I think myself, with a bottle of poitín. That poitín was regarded as a great cure for the fever and to help you sweat it out. And it was also an isolation unit, that if you had the fever, you left your own house and you went up to this little sweat house, and between the poitín and the fire and the water, you would stay there a couple of days until the fever subsided, and you didn't pass it on to anybody else. Now, mostly they're all gone, but there's a few around Connaught in tourist spots now, or tourist preserved buildings, but those ones would be more made of stone, like a little killeen, a little monk's cell. But the Connemara ones, I think, were much more scraws and brambles and a more transient kind of a structure. But yeah, the locals know where they were, and they'll still point them out to you if you ask them.